They are a different kind of family.
Nobody gets paid. Everybody's got it in their blood of racing. I've always had it in me. I've always wanted to stay by the track.
A tradition started decades ago at dirt tracks across this country. Volunteers giving everything they have to help ensure that racing families make it safely home. These guys represent one group, Speedway Fire Rescue. They take us to the heart of the story, showing us their American drive.
My name is Greg Murfield. I'm the TOC for Speedway Fire Rescue, which is Track Operation Coordinator.
Sean Voisin, President and Deputy Chief, Speedway Fire Rescue.
My name's Kevin Haskins. I'm Sergeant at Arms. I ride on the back of the truck.
Keeping a long tradition alive. Each has his own reason for being here. All grew up around the track.
With a lot of race cars for about 30-some years, and then I got hurt, and then I decided, well, this is the closest I can get to being in the races.
It gets Greg out of the house after a long winter.
I drive my wife crazy. So when racing does start, she's a race widow, because before I would work, I had the Davenport track, I had the East Moline track, and then I'd travel to LaSalle Speedway. So she was pretty much by herself all racing season, but she didn't mind that because I wasn't around to bother her.
Sean's been doing this for 26 years. He started in the stands and was soon hooked on the sport.
I'm looking at it as though, all right, here's my free end of the go watch racing, right? Got real serious real quick. My first night at the races was Gilbert and I covering a half mile at Russ Liberty. That was it, just two of us. And that was a challenge, and that was before we had jaws and, you know, the tools and equipment we have now.
So you realized then that pretty serious business, real work there.
Yep, it got serious. I mean, all we wore was a hard hat, and blue shirt, and white pants.
But serious it is. Let's get to work. This is how they do it. Two guys to a truck, each one with a job to do.
Pulled right up to Speedway Fire Rescue.
All the trucks will move to the incident along with the medics, and one person on the back of the truck is responsible for going to the driver, and the other one is to watch for any flare-up of fires and kind of look for debris and stuff that's on the track. But our main concern is checking them drivers to make sure them drivers are safe.
Oh, we got to roll over in turns 3 and 4. Mike Morrow over hard.
But then until you see that driver get up and you see him moving, you know, your heart's in you got your heart in your throat, because you don't know what'll happen. You know, it might look like an easy hit, an easy rollover, but you never know.
Quickly out of the car, thanks to our Speedway Fire and Rescue crew for getting over there so fast.
That call when you hear over the radio that we got a situation, we need you. What's going through your mind and what's happening with you?
First thing I want to try to do is I talk before we go out there to my partner. He's got a job to do, and I got a job to do. We both know what we're going to do. So when we get there, one checks the driver, one checks for gas leaks, and then we do our thing. It's just adrenaline. You really don't think about it until you get there, and then you know you have to do it quick.
Kind of like a paramedic kind of situation.
Kind of like that, yes.
As first responders on the track, Sean has incredible skills getting drivers out.
How good are you at getting someone out of a car?
Yeah, well, you don't want to sound boastful or anything, you know, like that, but I know I can do it myself, and I know I can direct other people on where to cut on the car, because there's certain places sometimes that if you want to try and salvage the car.
They work as one, following their training.
Is there specialty training that you have to go through for this?
Yes, we train a lot. We do a lot of training. We train every year. The reason why we train every year is because we try to make it to where if your drivers we want them to go home just the way they came here, and we want our group to go home just the way they came here. So we tried to prevent anybody from getting hurt.
But most of their knowledge comes from those who came before. Men like Gil Short, founder of Speedway Fire Rescue, who they lost just a few days ago off the track.
Gil Short, we honored him a little while ago. He was the chief of Speedway Fire Rescue. He started an organization.
He was like a father to me.
That thing don't need to be out there anyway. Just pitching away.
Knew his stuff, knew what he wanted, taught me. He'd help about anybody.
We're gonna fulfill that legacy that he's got. You know, even though he ain't here, don't think he ain't watching, because he is. He knows what's going on, and with him being the knowledge of fire safety is a major loss. It's just like when Ronnie Whedon passed. That racing legacy that he had here, that's gone. So we got some big shoes to fill, but with the crew and everybody that's involved, we'll get her done.
So he's not here, but he's right there.
He's here. He's here every day we come here. He's going to be here for a while. We're going to continue where he left off, because we got the guys to do this.
I basically am next in charge here for this organization. Been around the longest, and that immediately went to my head, thinking about what I need to do, you know, what has to be done.
Doing what has to be done. So they do this at tracks all across the area for the love of the sport, the love of being there for others who love the sport, and that feeling they get when they know that hard-working men and women who give so much of their lives for this passion on the dirt get home safely to their families.
What is the best part of this for you?
Knowing that what you do here, as far as protecting the drivers and their safety, when you see that driver, that car, and that hauler go home, you know you did your job.
Thanks to our sponsors. Check out the links to support them in our show notes. Watch and listen to our other inspiring racing stories, including Victory Lap, Teen Racer, and Driver Rescue's Wife. Let us know what you think. Please subscribe, follow us on Metivier Media Facebook page and our website. This is American Drive and the Heart of the Story with Gary Metivier podcast and YouTube.